Shavua Tov, B'Shem Hashem Naseh v'Natzliach. Today's Torah learning is dedicated in the merit of all Am Yisrael all over the world, especially in Israel and places where there's a lot of anti-Semitism. Also, I would like to dedicate the shiur for our soldiers, that they should be very successful. Also for the people that were injured and affected by this, may Hashem send them a speedy recovery. Most importantly, for our brothers and sisters that are still in captivity, may they come home safe. In Parsha Vayeshev, in Perek Lamed Pet, Pasuk Bet and Gimel, teaches us a secret on how to become successful. Now, successful can be defined in many ways. Whatever you want to do, Rabotai, we're going to see today, whether materialistically, whether spiritually, we're going to see today, how does one become successful? Because everybody wants to be successful. The question is how? And we're going to see it with the one-word Rashi. Rabotai, we need to realize a lot of people feel that it's in their power to become successful. The result is not in your power. The result is in Hashem's hand. What we do, Rabotai, is very little what we do, what has to do with our success. I once heard a beautiful story from, I forgot his name. I think you guys might even know him. His name is Michael. He has his daily bitachon. Somebody sends it to me, and I listened to him. Michael Elps. I forgot his name. Forgot his last name. But he said something fascinating, and he said a lot of people feel that success is dependent on what they do, but they don't realize that success is not dependent on what you do, more with who you do it. And he brought a story, and he said that there was once a person that came into a city, and this person never saw a city in his life. Let's say a person came from a desert or from a jungle. He doesn't know what's people. He doesn't know nothing about that. He sees there's a very big building, and he says over there, UPS, the postal service. He sees there's a very big line outside waiting, and he says, wow, why are there people waiting here? I might as well go and stand on the line also. He goes ahead and he waits on the line for hours, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. He's standing on the line. Now, as the line gets closer and closer, he starts realizing that every person that comes to the postal service, they give him a key. He goes to the P.O. box. He goes to the box where the mail was sent to him. He goes and he takes that box, and he goes and he opens up to see what's inside. So this guy is paying attention. This one got money. This one got a nice watch. This one got jewelry. He's like, wow, what a nice building this is. They're giving out free presents. Rabotai, as he's waiting on the line, this continues, and he sees all people are giving $5, $10, and they're getting the messages that are sent to them. What happens, Rabotai? Once his turn comes, he takes that $20, he puts it on the table, and he says, please, give me my present also. He says, sir, what's your name? Do you have an ID card? Is there anything that identifies you as a person? He's like, well, what does that mean? Everybody up to now was fine. Everybody gave you money, you gave him a present. I saw everybody's receiving a nice gift from that box over there, those P.O. boxes that they have on the side. He said, no, you don't understand how this whole system works. These people, when they come to me, this little that they pay me, that's for the fact that we hold their stuff over here. But somebody already sent them this gift from somewhere else, so we identify who the people are, and we give them the key to go take their present. So the guy's like, I don't understand. So you're telling me I'm not going to get any presents? He says, no, sir, nobody sent you anything. So this Michael says like this. Forgot his last name, Rabotai. He's on Daily Bitachon. He speaks very, very well. If anybody can get on him, or ask your friends, Rabotai, I won't be surprised. A lot of people know about him. And he says, we look at this guy that went to the postal service, and we look at him and we say, what a tipesh, a fool, Rabotai. What are you doing? Did you really think somebody's going to send you something without you doing something? Rabotai, but we're that type of people. We come to this world. We know that Hashem already has it for every single one of us. B'ezrat Hashem, He has money coming. He has brachot coming. Parnasa, health, children, wives, whatever person. It's already there, Rabotai. It's already there. All he has to do, he has to just give those $5. He has to do a little hishtadlut from his end. that to connect himself with Hashem, and that's the key to open up those gifts. But what are we thinking about that? We think we have to go work hard, we have to break ourselves, we have to worry. Rabotai, we're not realizing that all these presents are already sent out. All you gotta do your part. You gotta do avodat Hashem, Rabotai. That's gonna open the key to the blessing that Hashem offers. And that's a really, Rabotai, this is what I'm trying to tell you here. It's not how much effort you put in. There's a Mishnah Berurah in Simon Aleph, in Halacha Dalet, and the bottom he brings down, one of the sifkatans on the bottom, like maybe a few lines from the bottom, he brings down over there, it says, Echad HaMarbeh ve'echad HaMamit, u'bavad she'yechrem libo l'shamayim. That whether a person is doing a lot in Avodat Hashem, whether a person is doing a little bit in Avodat Hashem, as long as his heart is directed towards Hashem. Hashem wants our heart, Rabotai. Hashem doesn't want our outside, a costume, just to, with the, how do you call it, what do you call that word? When a person, by habit, by rote, he doesn't want it, but Hashem wants you to be there. Hashem wants you to say brachot with feelings, daven with feeling, learn Torah with feeling, give tzedakah with simcha. Hashem wants your heart, Rabotai. Hashem doesn't want your habit just by rote. Okay, I daven, I put a check and I'm out. Rabotai, the Mishnah Berurah brings down over there that the same thing, Rabotai, just so you could understand this for the spirituality, that Hashem wants your heart, Rabotai. Do you know he said, when it comes to working, it's not dependent, you know something? Let me see if I can find this. I would really love to read it for you inside, only because I like to say things from the inside, everything otherwise. I don't like to even about prayer. 1 second. Simon Aleph. Halacha Dalet. Ken, Simon Aleph Halacha Dalet. Right, the Halacha says, Tov me'ad b'techamim b'kavanah, me'arbot b'lo kavanah. It's better, so Rabotai, it's good, it's better for a person to say a few supplications with kavanah than to say a lot without kavanah. Now this goes for a lot of things, Rabotai. A person can read the whole Tehillim for one Shabbat. But did you understand what you said? Halacha says it would have been better if you would have read one parak and understood what you're saying than to read the whole book of Tehillim. That's halacha, Rabotai. That's the way it is. Right? A person does Zohar, which is beautiful, Rabotai. Even doing Zohar without understanding, you get the reward. But the halacha says it's better to do Zohar and try to understand what you're saying than just to run through it. Why? Because when you do little by little, eventually you become familiar with the whole thing and it becomes easier. In any event, Rabotai, I want to show you on the bottom, it says, it's a beautiful language. Rabotai, listen to this beautiful language. Rabbi, say, listen what he says right here. He says, it speaks about a person has to say Parshas Aman. When a person says Parshas Aman, why? When a person says the Parshas Aman, he's going to believe that every single dollar, every single penny that comes to him, it comes with divine providence. Rabotai, Hashem is, you want it, you don't want it, the money is coming to you. The question is, what are you doing? Are you doing what Hashem wants? Watch this. Like the pasuk says, Amarbe lo ha'adif. One who puts more effort into work, it doesn't mean he's going to make more money. V'hamamit lo hichsir, Rabotai. But one who does little, one who puts little effort, he's not going to lack anything, meaning he's not going to miss $1. Just because you think you're going to work 15, 16 hours, you're not going to make more money. Just because you're going to work 5, 6 hours, you're not going to make less money. Why is it like this? You know why? Lehorot Rabotai, to come to teach us. She'en ribuy ha'hishtadlut mu'il me'uma. Because when a person does a lot of hishtadlut, he wants to teach you, it doesn't help you at all. Why, Rabotai? Because it's not dependent on us. It's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's all about Hashem, Rabotai. And this is what I want to show you today, Rabotai. In this parsha, we're going to see, Rabotai, when it comes to becoming successful, it's not how much you do, it's who you do it with. I could tell you stories, Rabotai, people that don't know how to write. Rabotai, I was in a place that we had somebody had a thing that they're dealing, whatever, they had to close up a deal. So now the lady says, can he please sign? So I tell the guy, I say, sign over here. So he's like, sign what? I said, sign your name. He's like, I don't know how to sign my name. What do you mean you don't know how to sign? I don't know how to sign my name. What do you mean I said, just put something on it. She's, Rabotai, this was the signature right here. You see this? Watch. He doesn't know how to really, and do you know how much money this guy has? And you have people that go to college, or I'm not telling not to go to college about time. Ask your local rabbis what's right. But people go to college and they spend nights and days learning. In the end, Rabotai, they work in McDonald's. Rabotai, we need to understand. It's not the effort. The effort should be placed in Avodat Hashem. And see how everything's going to come to you. But Rabotai, when you put all your effort somewhere else, Rabotai, you see what happens. I don't have to tell you. Now, Rabbi said, so this is what we want to see today. We want to see today, how does one do this? It says in Parshat Vayeshev, Perik Bet, Pasuk Gimel, Vayihi Hashem et Yosef, and Hashem was with Yosef. Vayihi Ish Matzliach, Vayihi Bebeit Adonav HaMitzri, and he was a successful man when he stayed in the house of his Egyptian master. I don't understand. Yosef Hatzadik was successful in a place that's not known to him. And then continues the pasuk, Vaya'ar Adonav, and his master saw. Who was his master? He was one of the Gedolim, one of the biggest rabbis. His master was a guy in Egypt, a guy. Vaya'ar Adonav ki Adonai ito. How does a guy see that Hashem is with him? Ve'chol asher hu oseh Adonai masech biyado. And the guy is saying, what everything that Yosef did, Hashem saw to it that he should become successful. Rabotai, I don't get it. What did Yosef do? And this is what I want to show you today. What did Yosef do? And you're going to see this, Rabotai. Make your lives easier. If anybody chas v'shalom from 1 second thinks that the Torah was given to make our lives harder, you are wrong. The whole purpose of the Torah is to make our lives easy. Rabotai, the first 5 years of marriage, my marriage, I had a very long beard, peot. At one point I wear a beksha with a gartel, Rabotai. The only one I was missing is the black, those stockings that the Hasidim wear. This is what you call an Amar Aris, Rabotai. Or better, no, the Amar Aris is not bad. A Hasid Shotet, that's what I was, Rabotai. I would listen, I would never learn. All those stringencies I would take upon myself. Because I didn't learn halachot. I didn't learn Rabotai. But I would only listen to lectures. Hey, this one says not Allah, this one not Allah. Rabotai, religion is the most beautiful thing out there. When you're serving God, that is the highest level. You're a Jew, you come to this world. There's nothing greater. You know, you say today, I'm just going to use Lev Levi, for example. You say, you know, this is Lev Levi's son? Wow. Or you know, this is the son that built this synagogue? Wow. You know that this is the richest guy in the world? Wow. Rabotai, what's wow? What about when it says clearly in the Torah, Hashem says, you are my children. We are the children of Hashem. That's a wow, Rabotai. We're the children of Hashem. Look at that alone, Rabotai. Hodu Adonai ki tov ki lo mazdo. For that alone, you have to be always praising God. But we don't see it like that. We think it's a burden. No, Rabotai. It's not a burden. Rabotai, if anything, Rabotai, it's a zuchut, it's a merit to be Jewish. It's a merit to serve God. Rabotai, listen to this very carefully. Listen what the Dazekenim says. He's going to give us 3 explanations on how to understand that Hashem was with him. And because Rabotai, we want to try to answer one question. Not one really, 3 separate questions, but with all one answer. How does one become successful? How does one stay humble even when he's successful? And last but not least, Rabotai, how does one make it that Hashem is always in his life? The Mishnah Yomi, the Daf Yomi, whatever, as many zechut that you can do it, Rabotai, after it. But also, Rabotai, just make some time to try to learn the Gemara with Rashi. It's very, very important because Rashi is the guy, it's like ways for the Gemara. It's so beautiful. Without the Rashi, nobody will be able to learn Pshat. In any event, Rabotai, listen to this very carefully. The Dazekenim says over here, the Mibala Tosfot, he says, when it says, Vayi Hashem et Yosef, what does it mean that Hashem was with Yosef? He brings down the Midrash Tanchuma Yashan, and he says like this, Lo ki midat HaKadosh Baruch Hu midat basar v'dam. The ways of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of Hashem, is not like the ways of people. Midat basar v'dam kol zman she'ahu b'gdulo hu matzu esot tamid. The way of people is, as long as you are here, you're up high, you have money, you have stature, you have everything about high, you're a known person, he's always with you, your friends with you, people around you. Yarad b'giduloto hu mashlichu achar gavo. Once you come down from your greatness, lolenu, a person loses what he had, chas v'shalom, he's no longer in that financial status, he no longer has that status, he's no longer the president of the community, whatever it is, Rabotai. Automatically your friend throws you behind your back as if he never knew you before. HaKadosh Baruch Hu enukim, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not like that. Why is it so important to attach yourself to Hashem, Rabotai? I don't care how much, Rabotai, you might have, how much a person might do. I don't know your wives, I don't know your children, Rabotai, but one thing, remember one thing, that when the time comes, when push comes to shove, the only one that's going to be able to help you is HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself. Not our wives, not our children. They barely can help us now, Rabotai. We always have to ask them for things. Again, we're working together, we're building families. We want them to go in the derech of Hashem. But Rabotai, Hashem, everything is about Hashem. It's you and Hashem. He continues over here and says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu enuken, but Hashem is not like that. Why? Ki haya imo bigduloto birito. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem was with Yosef when he was great and also when he was not great. בבית המצרי היה עמו, כשהיה ראש המשנה למלך, גם שם היה עמו. When Yosef was in the Egyptian's house, and also when he became second to king, Hashem was with him. Shema, how do we know? Because the pasuk says, Vayhi Hashem et Yosef. Because the pasuk says, and Hashem was with Yosef. V'chem bebeit haTorah, and so too when it comes to the dungeon, when Yosef Hatzadik was in prison, Vayhi Hashem et Yosef ve'at alav chesed. And Hashem was with Yosef, and he bestowed kindness upon him. Rabotai, listen, just this alone was worth learning this Da'as Zakenim. It's such a foundation for life that we need to understand this and teach it to our families, kids, people around us. Rabotai, when you have money, when you have stature, you have friends. When you have no stature, you have no money, you have nothing, you have no friends, Rabotai. But if you go with Hashem, you don't need anyone but Him. He's always with you, whether you're up or whether you're down. This is why when in good times or bad times, Rabotai, people, especially in bad times, not more than good times, but people in bad times, who do they turn to? They turn to Hashem. Why does Hashem give people bad times? Because Hashem wants us to turn to Him. That's why if a person is smart enough, when it's good times and he thinks Hashem, Hashem won't give you bad times. Small parable, Rabotai, not even a parable, real life. As a parent, right? As parents, everybody who's able, to have children beside Hashem, who's not, they should get married, should have children, etc. Rabotai, as parents, you give allowances to your children. Everybody, each child, you gotta give money, right? They want to go out, they want to eat, whatever the situation might be. Every single child, every single parent wants to help this child. Ask you guys a question: how much do you give your children? You give them 10,000 one shot? Or give them $50, $20, $30. Why don't you just give them for the month 1,000? Or for 6 months, or whatever the situation might be. The simple answer is because if you give them that much money, you'll never see them for another 6 months. But like this, when you just give them $20, $30, at least you see him every single now and then. He comes, oh, Papa, I need more money. Mom, I need more money. Please, whatever it is. Rabotai, the same thing with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. You think it's hard for Hashem to make you rich? You think it's hard for Hashem to give you whatever you want? It's not. It's a matter of, are you asking for it? It's a matter of, are you thanking Hashem, Rabotai? Because Hashem wants to hear you. But at the same time, when things are good and if you're not saying thank you, Hashem, unfortunately, Rabotai, Hashem sometimes takes those things away in order for us to realize what we actually had. And then we start saying, oh, Hashem, why? Once you come back and you pray to Hashem, Hashem gives you back what you have. But don't allow that to be taken away, Rabotai, by appreciating now what you have. Today in Shul, unfortunately, one of the members lost his wife. And this should also be a little nishma for her. And her name is Chana Bat Miriam. Her husband is very special, Rabotai. We never knew the lady. But I told Mr. Isaac, I said, or for all the men, Lolin, Rabotai, that lost their wives, for whatever reason might be. And the pasuk says, Matzah Isha Matzah Tov. What does that mean, Matzah Isha Matzah Tov? If you found a wife, you found good. Meaning, if you found a good wife, you found something good in your life. What does that mean, Rabotai? I was thinking about it and just hit me today on the Shabbat meal by Nets. And I said, what does that have to mean? Matzah Isha, Matzah Tov. That if you find a good wife, you found good in your life. Because Chas v'Shalom, Rabotai, once you lose it, you feel the goodness that's not in your life. That's what, Rabotai, we need to appreciate our spouses. We need to appreciate our children. We need to appreciate the people that are with us. Our grandparents, our parents, etc. Rabotai. These people here, even ourselves, Rabotai, we're only here for a limited time in this world. We need to try to cherish each and every moment. Rabotai, let's just get back into this. In any event, Rabotai, we see over here that Hashem was always with him. That the one person you can rely on is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Continues the Dazakenim and he says, Ukumoken, but the same thing, Rabotai, not only by Hashem, he says, Midat Yosef enu kish'ar b'nei Adam. But also the ways of Yosef is not like any other person. Sharei Adam ani yareh et Elohim. A poor person, he's afraid of God. Aval hashir enu yareh. But a rich person, he's not so afraid of God. Aval Yosef, however, when you're dealing with Yosef, bebeit adonoto, amar ve'ech e'eseh hara'ah ha'gedolah v'gomer. When he was in his master's house, he said, how am I going to do this bad thing? When Potiphar's wife wanted to sleep with him, he didn't do the Avera, Rabotai. But when he was a king, also he said, Ed ha'Elohim ani yar'eh. And I'm going to fear Hashem. So we see over here clearly, Rabotai, when he was down and when he was up, he never forgot about Hashem. Continues the Dazakenim, and he says, Davar Ach, what do you can understand? Vayhi Hashem, what does it mean that Hashem was with Yosef? Mashallah Adam, it's a parable to a person. Shahayu lo asara banim be'eser midinot. He had 10 children in 10 countries. He went, he left all his other 9 children, and he went by the youngest one. Because he was weak, since he was small, he was weak, and he needed more help than any other, more than any other of the brothers. And furthermore, he says, a person had 10 camels that are carrying wine barrels in the public domain. One of them entered into a Gorsha house. He left all the other 9 donkeys that are carrying the barrels of wine, and he entered into the Gorsha's house to make sure that the wine does not become wine nesech, wine of libation. Listen to this carefully. Kach HaKadosh Baruch Hu haya im Yosef. So too HaKadosh Baruch Hu was with Yosef. Kach HaKadosh Baruch Hu haya im Yosef bebeit HaMitzri. So too Hashem was with Yosef in the house of the Egyptian. Kidei shelo yilmad mimasav. In order for Yosef not to learn out from the Egyptians' ways, Hashem was with him always there. So we see over here that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, those 2 parables are just telling us, Rabotai, that he left the other 9 children and he went to the one that needed him most, which was Yosef. He left the 9 camels and he went to the one with the wine libation that he doesn't become disqualified like Yosef. He needed him most then. Rabotai, I want to go back to our 3 questions. Question number 1 was, how does one become successful? Question number 2 is, how does one stay humble even when he's successful? And question number 3 is, how did Yosef Hatzadik do it that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was always with him? If we look into Rashi and Od Gimel, when it says in the pasuk V'ya'ar Adonav ki Hashem ito, when the master saw that Hashem was with him, Rashi says 2 lines, 2 words, Michela, in 1 line, 2 words that give us the foundation of emunah and bitachon. Shem Shamayim Shagur Bipiv. Hashem's name was fluent in his mouth. Everything Yosef Hatzadik did was with Hashem. Rabotai, we know when they asked him to do something, when the Egyptians asked him to do something, they said, bring me hot water. Before he would bring the hot water, he would say, Hashem, can you please help me that the hot water gets boiled? Let me ask you guys, anybody today is going to take a tea kettle, put it on fire, put it on, don't say a word, it's going to boil. Why did Yosef go out of his way to say this? And it's not only in this. And anything that he was asked, he went ahead and he said, Hashem, please help me. Hashem, please help me. Hashem. Everything with him was about Hashem. Everything was Hashem. Rabotai, and this is why his master, the Egyptian, was able to see that Hashem is with him, because all he did was say, Hashem, 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 Hashem. And that's why it says that his master saw that Hashem was with him, and everything that he does, Hashem made him successful. Not Yosef. Hashem made him successful. Rabotai, listen to this very carefully. Question, you want to become successful? We started off, Rabotai, saying it's not how much effort you put, but Rabotai, it's with who you do it. Yosef went with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He went with Hashem. Everything is about Hashem with Yosef. That's why he was successful. Look into the pasuk one more time. Vayihi Hashem et Yosef. And Hashem was with Yosef. What does that mean? And then the pasuk says, Vayish Matzliach. And then it says he was successful. Rabotai, when Hashem is with you, you're gonna be successful, Rabotai. It's not how much effort you put in. It's who you put the effort in with. Is it Hashem or is it you and the people that you depend on? Rabotai, it's Hashem. That's number one, we get that out of the way. How does one stay humble, Rabotai? Yosef gave the answer away. Rashi gave that answer. Hashem's name was in his mouth fluently. He didn't believe that anything that he did, it was not him. For boiling water, it really, I don't want to read the whole thing. Rambam brings it down also, Rabotai. He said, please Hashem, make this water become hot. He said to him, the Egyptian, make it warm. Please Hashem, make it warm. What does that mean, Rabotai? You ask Hashem, anybody can do this. Rabotai, that is the secret. When a person is low in life, Rabotai, when he's down over here, and nothing's going, and then he starts becoming big, 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 he should never lose himself, Rabotai. He should always remember what he has. Now, it's all from Hashem, Rabotai. When you think like that, there's a lot of room to stay humble and very, very little room to become hoary. That's question number 2. And Rabotai, very simple now. The last question gets answered by itself. How does the one make it that Hashem is always with him? Speak about him. Speak about Hashem, Rabotai. Oh, you hear, I know, Rabotai, it's very scary, Rabotai, and what's going on in the world. Oh, you hear, Hamas and this and anti-Semitism. Rabotai, Hashem, Rabbi, Hashem. Hashem is running the world. We don't even understand. Nothing, Rabotai. We think we understand. Hashem has a master plan for all this. Don't speak about these people, Rabotai. They're only puppets in the hands of Hashem. It's HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Rabotai. When you start speaking about Hashem, when you come home and you tell your child, you know the miracle that Hashem did for me? I was able to go to work. And Hashem gave me money. Doesn't have to be a lot of money, even little money, Rabotai. Why is this so important? You teach your children, you teach your wife, you teach yourself that yes, it's Hashem, it's only Hashem. You know, Masechet Sotah, it brings down, there's a story in Masechet Sotah that brings down that a guy lost his wife, Chas Shalom Lo Aleinu, and she had a baby. Now, he needed a wet nurse to nurse the child. But the problem is he didn't have money, he was very poor. So what did Hashem do? Instead of building him an orchard in the back with grapes and everything, what did Hashem do? He made that from his breast, from the guy's breast, milk come out so he can feed his children. So the Gemara goes on to say, wow, how great of a tzaddik. The other one says, no, what kind of tzaddik? I don't want to get into the whole Gemara now. But Rabotai, but there's a rabbi, there's a Tana that comes and he says, are you serious? Hashem had to change course of nature. He could have easily just given the money and let him get a wet nurse. Because Chazal tells Rabotai to make $1, it's like splitting the Red Sea, Rabotai. It's harder for Hashem to give $1 to a person than to change course of nature. Meaning it's easier for Hashem to change nature than to give you money. So don't think when you're making money it's an easy thing. It's a big deal, Rabotai. The kids came home, Hashem, I thank you. You woke up in the morning, Be'emet modeh ani lefanecha. Thank him, Rabotai. It's everything. Everything we do is about him. But the problem is we make it about ourselves and we forget him. And then when we have problems, oh, Rabbi, Rabotai, we know Rabbi. Straight to Hashem, Rabotai. Direct, Rabotai, we know. I don't want to say Rabotai, the religion where you need a middleman. We don't need middlemen, Rabotai. It's nice to get brachot from people, but Rabotai, you have direct connection. Go straight to Hashem. Rabbi say this is very important, that we need to know, Rabotai, that a person has to constantly have Hashem's name in his mouth. Once you're able to do it, you bring Hashem into your life. He gives you success. You stay humble, Rabotai, and He's always with you. What greater blessing is there in life, Rabotai, to when a person is always